Hi, I'm Tony Wilson. Welcome to the third umpire. In the comic strip Fatty Finn, the lead character sits up all night listening to Don Bradman's Spifflicate the Poms in 1930. Well, Spifflicate is about what Ricky Ponting's ageing Australians did to Freddie Flintoff's men at the Gabba last week. And to discuss the form of the two sides and to preview the second test in Adelaide, I'd like to welcome my first guest, the man who told Curtly Ambrose what wristband could go where, Dean Jones. Thanks for joining us.
Hi Tony, how do you spell spifflicate?
Well, I think it's only got the one F, but I'm not sure, Dino. And for our second guest, we've got an award-winning age cricket writer who wrote an article on day 4 of the first test saying the lion rises from the ashes, so he saw some positives there. Welcome, Greg Bourne.
Still pretty ash covered by the end of the day, but yeah, thanks Tony, good to be here.
Dino, the Australians do make a habit of talking, don't they? You were in favour of this sort of mental disintegration tactic they seem to have in place. It's like the boxing.
Oh look, that might be the case, but I still think England came over thinking they had a red-hot chance of winning these Ashes and or retaining them. They've got no chance.
Gone, demoralised, as Ricky said. Is that the word you'd use as well?
They're just down and out at the moment. You need 4 bowlers to win you a test series, and they've only got 2.
Harmison, will he play the whole series, or do you think he's in real trouble?
Oh, look, he's in real trouble. What I would do right now is get about 6 beers, get next to him, put him in the video room, and get all the wonderful test wickets he's got over his career, have a few beers, and just say, look how good you were. Have a look at that. Have a look at that. And then just get his confidence back, because half the game at this level is 80% what goes between the ears, but at the moment, there's nothing.
Greg Baum, you were up at the Gabba. Are they demoralised? Are they finished, as the Australians are keen to tell the entire country that they are?
No, I don't think they are, because unlike the previous last 20 years, they've got a little bit on their side this series. They only have to win 1 test. Australia's won this one, but 1 for them and 3 draws is enough, and that's different to the last 3 times. I think Flintoff's a pretty tough character, and I think their batting is really sound. They made 400 nearly in the second innings in Brisbane, and that was without Strauss firing, that was without Bell getting a run, that was without Flintoff making a contribution. So, but I think it's important in Adelaide that they win the toss and bat first. If they do that and make 400 or 500, they can put some pressure on Australia.
They wouldn't have got 400 if they followed on. They were gone. They regrouped. Well,
Ricky Ponting's philosophy about that was that they would have batted on an even better wicket if they'd followed on than they did. They still would have got a few. They're always going to lose a test match after Australia made 600. I think they took a little bit out of that, and by batting again, Australia gave Harmison another 10 or 12 overs of practice, and everyone says that what he needs is bowling. Well, he got that, and if they'd followed on, he wouldn't have got that.
He also got smashed.
Well, you mentioned Flintoff there. The captain's, his bowling was superb again. His batting very disappointing. How do you think they should approach this? Should he hold on to the captaincy the whole series, or if Vaughan's right, should Vaughan come straight into the role, Dean?
Well, there's a couple of things. I saw Flintoff captain the team very well in India, and I thought he did a great job. The second thing is all the boys in the team would go through a brick wall for him, so that's just a big thumbs up for him there. There's nothing worse than having a skipper or an injured player in the background warming up and doing all these things. It's not good for Bell, it's not good for Collingwood, it's not good for any of them. Will he come back? Will he? Just go down to the English Academy in Perth, Michael Vaughan, and just worry about getting your game. If you're half decent and half fit for Perth, well great. If not, get on a plane and go back home, because it can be a distracting influence on the team.
Your views, Greg?
I agree with that. I can't see Vaughan playing in the series anyway. He hasn't batted for a year, and the batting's not the problem anyway. I mean, as Dean says, they've got to fix their bowling. The guys love Flintoff. Harmison, very delicate character, as we've said. I think those 6 beers really should be in his pub in Durham. That'll get him going. But he loves Flintoff. He wants to play for Flintoff. If anyone's going to get Harmison up and going, it'll be Flintoff. I don't think Vaughan comes into the reckoning.
Well, maybe they have it in Preston. Doesn't Flintoff have a tab for life at the pub in his hometown?
Well, he can drink.
With the incident where Warney hurled the ball down the pitch at Peterson and there were some words spoken, there's been a lot about the friendship between the two. Dino, you were in England in 1989 when the whole Captain Grumpy, Alan Border not speaking to his old mate David Gower occurred. What's your view on the policy? Do you think it needs to be taken to the extremes that AB took it to in 1989?
A good question. As long as they're tough on the ground and not, matey. Off the ground, they want to have a few beers. I've got no hassles with that. And when he threw the ball back in, Warney, and just missed Peterson, and look, it was a donkey drop too. If you want to let it go, he would have threw a lot harder than that. a bit of frustration. I would have taken that as Peterson thinking, oh, I've got him here, like he's thrown the ball at me. But the words that were mentioned by both players, look, let's game on. And look, they're taking it seriously. And obviously Peterson, for the first time in his career as an England player, is on the back foot a little bit. So it was good stuff. And
if England are fair dinkum, should they go in with Panesar instead of Giles, or both?
Well, when you select teams, and it's quite hard, Bommy, isn't it? You've got to work out who's going to get you 5 wickets. And you can go through, will Harmison get you 5 wickets? Potentially, yes. Flintoff, there's no doubt. Hygaard will reverse swing the ball, there's no doubt about that. Now, Panesar, I reckon he can get 5 wickets. This kid's a talent. Will Giles? Now, Giles could if he keeps it boring. Now, Panesar, play them both. Panesar can be the good attacking bowler, and Giles can be the tight bowler, and they won't get away, which he can be at Adelaide. So the guy that might miss out would be Anderson, maybe. But so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
So just a quick prediction: what's going to happen in Adelaide?
If England win the toss and bat first, they're a chance to win. If Australia does, then it's a draw or an emphatic victory to Australia.
Dino?
Well, if you're a betting man, and I'm not, and I do know John the bookmaker many years ago, I haven't got his number now, mind you, but...
35 degrees and fine, apparently. But
it always is in Adelaide.
Yeah, that's right. But I'll say this, look, if England win the toss and bat, and know this a half an hour before the match starts, which we do, and Panesar is playing, I'll have a quiet $10 on England because I think they're a half a sniff, only because of their odds.
I think they're a half sniff too, but they will actually lose. So stick with us. We'll be back with the third umpire next week for the third test. Keep sending in your pictures and your videos to your Age website and your Sydney Morning Herald website. And thank you very much, Greg and Dean, for coming in.